Dan Hooker will face Justin Gaethje at UFC 313 on March 8th. In a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Dan shared his thoughts on why the UFC booked the fight for 5 rounds, even though it's a co-main event and neither fighter is the champion. He believes the UFC just wants to see action. He went on to say, "I just think the UFC wants to see someone die. I think they want to finish. They want this fight as well. I feel like for the fans, they want to see someone go down. They want to see blood. They want to see round 4 and 5. I'm happy to oblige for money. This fight is not about talking. I'm expecting no disrespect from Justin Gaethje, and there will be none heading that way. But inside the cage, absolute killers. I respect him for taking this fight. It's a dangerous fight. I feel like there's a lot of tough fights out there, but I feel like there's a lot more low-risk fights or potentially less dangerous fights." Eddie Alvarez revealed he suffered a broken jaw on his TKO loss to Jeremy Stephens over the weekend. Eddie posted this to his Instagram. "Got hit with a kill shot in the first or second. I did my best to keep a game face and ignore it. By the 3rd round, the damage was too much. Please understand how bad I wanted this and what I sacrificed in order to win. It wasn't my night. Bare knuckle is as real as it gets. Unpredictable, fast-paced, and violent." Conor McGregor had some positive words for Eddie. He wrote, "A true warrior through and through." Jeremy Stephens expressed strong confidence in his ability to beat Conor McGregor during an appearance on the Anik and Florian podcast. He reflected on Conor's second fight with Dustin Poirier in 2021, where Dustin repeatedly targeted Conor's leg with calf kicks before finishing him in the 2nd round. Jeremy believes he could do the same thing.
We have way more of a storyline, and I'm way more of a fighter than Logan Paul. Like, granted, like, he's making money, but dude, man, that guy couldn't carry my jock strap, bro. Like, seriously, like, soft ass dude. I've broken people with calf kicks, and Conor was taken out by Dustin Poirier with calf kicks. He was taken out with boxing. I have all that. I have a lot of layers of skill before you even get to my will. And people used to look at me all kind of crazy, like, "You think you can beat Conor?" I was like, bro, I believe I can beat Conor. Just like I told people, I'm certain I'm going to beat your boy up in Eddie Alvarez. And people think like a crowd's going to scare me. They forget, I was up in Montreal Bell Center in front of 65,000 people fighting Sam Stout. Like, the whole week they were just Sam Stout. Like, he's on TV when I'm in my hotel room. Like, I've been here. I've done that. A lot of people I think they're blinded by my power and things on the outside. They don't really see the full journey, and it's coming full circle.
Mike Perry feels that the MMA community has taken a turn for the worse in recent years. He believes fans have become more disrespectful to fighters compared to when he was starting out. Perry first made an appearance at UFC 202 back in 2016 before retiring from the UFC in 2021.
It hurts me where the fan base, the combat sports fan base, is like, they've changed so much in the last year or two. And they're so disrespectful now.
Right.
When we came up in fighting, it's like people gave fighters respect. And it's not that the fighters have done anything different, because it's getting harder to be even greater in fighting. Records are being broken still. And people are doing new, phenomenal things as hard as fighting can be nowadays. And not to say that the ones back then or the ones now are any better. I think we would have had some great matchups from time zones. Like, if you could put guys from back then with guys from now, I think we'd have some great fights and the wins would be all over the place. Mm-hmm. But the fan base is so rude. It's like they weren't raised to watch fighting. Like, their dads may have watched fighting and treated everything different. Now it's all about, we can disrespect anyone because we think that we want to make this fight happen. And it's like, I don't know. I guess Floyd Mayweather was probably disrespected a lot in the last couple years. He's always taking tough battles. That's the way I see his career. It's like, wow, he's been number one for the last 20 years.
Yeah, the amount of years, it's insane. It's insane. The guy deserves respect. All these guys running around be like, he's scared of Aspinall. And I'm not trying to disrespect Aspinall. I think he's a great fighter. But if you think Jon Jones is scared of him, you're out of your mind. He just wants to get fucking paid to fight him. People are clueless, thinking he's playing the strong game of negotiation. If he's like begging to fight the guy, the UFC ain't gonna pay him shit. If he's like, I don't know, maybe I'll fight him, he can get paid.
I hope it happens and he gets paid great, and he's still the same Jon Jones that fucking dominates a battle. I hope he wins. Nothing against Aspinall except the fucking people talking shit for him.
Yeah, no.
Robert Whittaker shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland. He believes that for Sean to win this time, he'll need to make significant adjustments to his approach. However, Rob doesn't think Sean is interested in making those changes and expects the fight to play out similarly to the first one.
I feel like I've talked about this fight too much, and I don't have a ton to say, because if we look at their last fight, Sean lost as the champ. Okay?
Yeah.
How does his second fight play out differently? Right? And granted, it was controversial, but he lost the decision as the champ. If this fight doesn't change in any drastic way, he's not the champ. You know? And I just don't know what Sean does differently. Sean fights the way he fights. I don't know how he fights differently than he did in that first fight against Dricus. And I don't see Dricus fighting any differently against Sean. If anything, and you saw in the Israel fight, he's gotten better. He's gotten better at his wrestling, at his pressure. He's obviously had those 5-round fights to adjust and acclimatize to it. Yeah, I don't see how Sean beats Dricus.
Aljamain Sterling is eyeing a fight with either Arnold Allen or Brian Ortega next. He recently lost via unanimous decision to Movsar Evloev last December, though many fans believed Aljo actually won the fight. In a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Aljo reiterated his goal of becoming the UFC featherweight champion. He said, "A lot of fans don't think I lost that fight. I watched it back a couple of times now, and I still don't think I lost the fight. Obviously, the judges are the judge, so whatever they say is going to stay in the history books. But I would love to run it back with him. If not, maybe fight Arnold Allen, Brian Ortega. I want to fight up. I don't really want to fight down, but if I have to prove my worth again, then it is what it is. I'm still chasing that gold. If I could get a second gold belt, man, that's another legacy thing that people can't take away from me. So I'm chasing history at this point. Of course, the paychecks are good, but I'm not fighting just to be in there to say I'm fighting. I'm in there to beat the best guys. I'm in there to say that I fought the best guys. And that's what it's about for the rest of my career. I'd say I'm maybe 1 or 2 fights away. So it just really depends on the landscape, how I look in the fight, what Torres is going to do, if he's going to vacate. Then that puts 2 new challengers to fight for the vacated belt. So it really depends. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm patiently waiting. Hopefully I can make my return in April, maybe fight again in August or September and get ready to go. Michael Bisping weighed in on Conor McGregor's appearance at BKFC over the weekend. After Jeremy Stephens TKO'd Eddie Alvarez, Conor entered the ring and faced off with him. Later during the press conference, BKFC president David Feldman said that Conor specifically told him to announce that Conor will be fighting Jeremy next. However, Bisping doesn't believe that Conor will actually fight Jeremy. He thinks it was a clever move by Conor to promote BKFC.
There's a lot to unpack there, if you will. Of course, he's under contract with the UFC, but I'll say this, right? And, you know, I've gone back and forth with McGregor over the years, as you have. So this is far from me being a McGregor nut hugger. If there's one person that knows how to keep himself relevant in the fight world without actually fighting, it's Conor McGregor. You know, he's linked up to fighting everyone left, right, and center. And if you want to talk about promoting bare knuckle, that's a stroke of genius, because you know today, tomorrow, all the headlines are going to be Conor McGregor versus Jeremy Stephens. Is it going to happen in bare knuckle? Now, the fight's never going to happen. That would be my guess. But the sideline of it all is that amongst all those headlines, bare knuckle FC is being promoted and talked about the entire time.
100%.
Israel Adesanya has reacted to the comments Alex Pereira made about him yesterday. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Alex said, "I don't see myself cheering against Israel Adesanya. I wish him the best. I think maybe without him, I would not be where I am today." Izzy responded saying, Same. I feel the same way. I think God blessed me with a great opponent like Alex Pereira. He blessed me with a great challenge. It's easy to say that now on this side, but it takes a lot to take on that man. I always knew he'd have history, and I always knew I could best him. I'm glad God blessed me with that challenge to be able to rise to the occasion. I respect the guy, and I want the best for him. I like what he's doing. I like the fact that he's running through everyone because, again, it just shows how good he is. Alex Pereira has expressed interest in a super fight with Jon Jones. Jon has mentioned that a fight with Alex interests him more than the much-awaited showdown with Tom Aspinall, as he feels Tom is a bigger risk with less to gain. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Alex said, "I'm the champ. I want to fight the champ. Let's make the fight with Jon Jones." Before Jon's last fight, we actually talked about fighting, more random talk, not too much about fighting. He's not a friend or someone I talk with on the regular, but someone I respect. I know he respects me, and there's mutual respect. I think Jon wants to fight me because of the momentum and the risk. It's a risk fighting Aspinall. There's not a lot to gain there. It's another title fight, but fighting Alex is a much bigger achievement. We saw the fight with Stipe. Later, it was an impressive win and an impressive performance. Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev go head-to-head at UFC 313 on March 8th. Magomed has claimed that Pereira has been ducking him, and the UFC finally forced him to take the fight. Pereira says otherwise. Alex said, "Ankalaev says the company tells me what to do, but I'm the one that asked for the fight. I'm the one that came there and said, I want to fight Ankalaev now." Magomed responded to Alex and accused him of lying on X. He wrote, "This is #1 bullshit. He tweeted a month ago he's fighting someone else. The UFC told him he's fighting me now. He want to make it like he wanted March 8th. You'll get it." He followed up with, "Alex Pereira, don't lie. You didn't ask for me. It was a dead-end street. I'm gonna eat your heart." What do you guys think? Was Pereira avoiding Ankalaev because he's worried about a wrestler? Or perhaps Ankalaev hadn't earned a title shot until now? Let me know in the comments. And that's gonna wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.